And welcome back to coverage of Grand Prix Oklahoma City. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. I'm in the booth with Jacob Van Lunen, and we have the 9th-ranked player on the top 25 pro rankings. Third, he's actually third, right. Shenhar, we'll get that graphic fixed. World champion, 5 Grand Prix top 8s, looking to try to get another one here.
30 pro points already this year from that World Championship.
Yep, and 3 Grand Prix titles. He is a closer, and it looks like we're underway here.
He tapped, he laid a planes and he tapped 2. And
all right, I'm not sure what's happened here.
Yeah, so
it looks like Shenhar accidentally played.
A shortcut, just playing as fast as possible. I haven't.
We're listening.
So you played the planes first and then tried to cast the gun?
I played the planes first, but it was more like this.
sucks.
Right. Like I just did it very fast.
Okay. Okay, so my ruling would be that it seems like if that is exactly what happened, it seems like a dexterity error that you just played the wrong land.
I'll appeal that.
Okay.
All right, so what happened is Shenhar got a little bit ahead of himself. He wanted to play a Vaporkin, so he played his land and played his Vaporkin, and then looked down and said, whoops, it's not an island. So there's a ruling by the judge. So this is Adam Shaw here. You take a look. He's a former level 3 judge.
Yeah.
And it looks like the ruling has been appealed. I didn't actually hear who did it. I'm assuming Shenhar, but we'll see. So.
What about 3? Might not stop the coverage guys here. Know that I'm asking my opponent before.
Okay. All right. So the judge ruling, Rashad said he heard that the judge ruled that you can take the land back and instead play the island. And former level 3 judge Adam Shaw said, I'd like to appeal that. So that's what we're doing right now.
I think that's a very reasonable appeal.
It is.
I would do the same.
Agreed. And I think that the normal way that this works is the head judge will be contacted. Sometimes, though, at big GPs, we got about 1,100 here, so this is, I mean, in this day and age, this is an average-sized GP, which is kind of insane, by the way. 1,100 Magic players in one room is just like, yeah, that happens, you know. But anyway, they'll sometimes be able to delegate to a few high-level judges who have been head judges before but might not be at this exact event, and they can come over. I'm not really sure who they're going to get for this. I saw Lems. Yeah, I see Lems right there.
I saw him talking to Lems.
And Richter, Andy Richter. So they seem to be conferring here, and we're going to get some type of a ruling.
You're like a world champion.
When the judge comes back over to give the ruling, we'll listen in down in the feature match area, and we'll get that directly from his mouth so that we can get it. I think the one thing I really like here is that the players are still being friendly. You know, this doesn't have to be a tense situation at all.
Yeah.
You know, a mistake was made. Oh, it is.
Well, I mean,
it never is.
I don't really take judge rulings personally.
Yeah, that's you. You're a nice guy.
And
you're a calm person.
Pretty clear with my opponents that, you know, I'm not personally attacking them or accusing them of something when I'm calling a judge. I'm just trying to make sure that
I want you to recognize,
unless I actually believe that my opponent is cheating.
Yeah, that not everybody's like you in that way. You know, some people do take it personally.
Sean, why don't you give me your story first? You'll obviously have an opportunity as well.
I'm just going to go back real quick.
Sure.
You know, so I just like flipped around a little bit.
Like total trouble?
Yep.
I'm at 17.
So good.
Okay.
That's why I said wrong mana.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was you that noticed?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and you didn't say anything as you played a land or anything?
No, I did not say play a planes or anything.
Okay. So typically, and it sounds like Jared ruled that there was an error of dexterity and you would allow you to replace the land?
That's what it was ruled, yeah.
Sure. So errors of dexterity are an interesting thing, and I'm inclined usually to take them back, but usually they need to be accompanied by some communication that demonstrates they're an error of dexterity. Like had you played it and said island, that's very clearly an error of dexterity. But the fact that you didn't notice the mistake, it was clearly your opponent that noticed the mistake. I'm actually going to overturn the ruling here and say that you have played a planes.
And not back to the spell back.
I have a question
Right.
with that. So yes, playing a Vapor King does kind of mean I'm playing an island build, correct?
You did that after.
Well, that's my point. Like I did it after, but I was just doing it like as fast as possible. Just like slammed it and said go. Like,
And I
less
certainly
than a second
understand that. And like I said, if we're communicating clearly, there's probably a chance that we can do something else. But here, you made a mistake, and you didn't notice the mistake. Your opponent noticed the mistake, and we are going to hold you to the play. So in the future, I'd really advise you to just communicate very clearly, and that'll help prevent some of these
That's
errors.
really where shortcuts come in, right? Like you don't want me to say I'll play an island every time I play an island.
I think it's pretty reasonable to say island when you play an island. So,
Or if it was like
give a couple extra minutes.
it was like planes and then the Vapor King at the same time, maybe like that would be a clear thing anyway. It was just the way that it was played.
Can you tell me how much time has gone on the round?
Okay, so you guys heard it right from the head judge's mouth. He is not going to be allowed to take back the planes this time. Or to take back the planes, and and I heard Shenhar say island when he played it there, which was the advice that he received from Lems there. All right, so here's Dax of Miletus, and we could have an interesting one here if Shenhar doesn't come up with something that can get in the way of that. We've seen Shenhar's deck earlier in the day. You can see it's blue-white. Now remember, this is a win-and-in, right? This is an elimination match. The winner will make day 2 and get to draft tomorrow, and the loser will not. And that's a fine draw here. That can block Doxos, so that's definitely good. Leon and Snarecaster. Now here's where some tempo plays can get Adam Shaw way ahead, but he doesn't have one, and he just sends the turn back. Now, what do you think? He's got a Grip Tide here? I mean, I saw that he has... Oh, he's got Dissolve and maybe Grip Tide as well.
I think he has a double Dissolve.
Double Dissolve, okay. Now Shenhar is going to be thinking, because, you know, you got to figure if you put your opponent on Grip Tide that he probably just would have Grip Tided Leon and Snarecaster and hit you with Daxus, because that's a big
so
upside
putting
play.
his opponent on Divine Verdict, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm. It also would have taken out the Leonin. I mean, it would have exiled it, you know, which is one of the blockers. All right, so that is an Ordeal of Heliod, and it's just actually going to get...
Heliod.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it was a chosen by Heliod. Okay.
Yeah, so it would have drawn Shenhar an extra card. It's
But-
pretty relevant here.
And it looks like Shaw just wants to get that Dissolve out of his hands since he has another one, and you get the Scry going as well. Yes, he hit that land, but unfortunately it wasn't a second blue source. He has all blue cards in hand. And is he going to just want to leave Dissolve up again?
I don't think so. I mean, his opponent only has 3 lands in play.
He can play an Omen Speaker and I think it was a Wave Crash Triton. Is that what I saw?
I believe it's Fortune.
Triton Fortune Teller? Or, yeah, new cards, Jake. Fortune Hunter. Triton Fortune Hunter,
Triton
right?
Fortune Hunter,
Yeah,
I
that's
believe
what
that
it
is. I even said it earlier without
Yeah,
having
hey.
to look, you know?
It takes a minute. I think we've been doing fine on that. But, all right, so if that's the one he has, and he does have that in his hand. He doesn't cast it here, though. He had both.
Oh, he had both.
Yeah, he did. But he does have the other one in his hand as well.
Okay. So,
Now, you just cast that one. Yeah. So, yes, Omen Speaker, a fine magic card, does not have haste. Shenhar politely reminds him. And let's see what the third-ranked player comes up with for his 4th turn here. Or his 5th turn.
I think Dissolve is a very, very good sealed card.
Okay. Less so in draft?
I think it's still good in draft, but I think definitely less so.
Agree.
Counterspells in general are usually pretty good and sealed.
Yeah. You kind of have to. You need answers to your opponent's bombs, and that's definitely one of them. All right, so Vaporkin hits for 2, drops Adam Shaw down to 14, and what's the follow-up play here? A Lagana Band Elder? Just a 3/2. That cannot block Daxus.
And this is a Sea God's Revenge, I believe.
It is absolutely a Sea God's Revenge. Wow. 1, 2, 3. All those go back to your hand, and the rub-in Scry
The rub
It's so nasty.
God's Revenge is so rough.
brutal. And here they come. 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage, and a trigger from Daxus of Miletus. So let's see. It's unfortunately a planes, which doesn't work. Doesn't do anything.
Nope.
Although it does take a land drop away from Shenhar, who's already missed a couple.
Yeah.
So even though...
No, he's probably going to be discarding on his end step here.
Yeah.
So the Sea God's Revenge, actually.
He's got
Is
7
he? No,
now.
he's got
at 7, yeah.
Okay.
But he's got to play out the Leonin Snarecaster just because it can jump in front of Daxus. Oh, man.
Yeah, but now the...
Yeah, nice draw.
Well, he did scry.
He did. It's an observant, I'll say it. I'm just saying his draw step is kind, and he's going to put it on Daxus. And in they go. Everything attacks. So Shenhar, way, way, way behind. He's missing land drops. He also got Sea God's Revenge, and he's facing the legendary Daxus of Miletus and getting a beatdown, takes 6 damage. And there's a trigger, and it's another land. Again, normally when you have Daxus, you don't want lands to hit, but in this case, they're getting him out of the way. I mean, if it wasn't for that, Shenhar would have drawn lands on back-to-back turns, and now he's just bricking. So he's going to play a Fate Foretold to try to hit a land drop here, but he is falling so far behind, and he misses again. And it's looking to be pretty dire here for Shenhar.
I mean, Adam even has a Dissolve in hand. It's...
Ooh.
You know,
yeah.
It's all she wrote.
We're done here, yeah. But there is a block and Fate Foretold trigger coming for Shenhar. Potentially, I mean, you know, he's still fighting, but yeah, that Dissolve is really, I mean, Adam Shaw can now just sit on it forever, right? I mean, he has just no pressure to do anything. He just keeps attacking.
Yeah, he traded the Overclosses for my dude.
No land drop problems on Adam's side. Everybody attacks. 6 damage. Shahar's at 10. So Shenhar can trade for the... actually can't trade for anything.
You can just get an extra card by jumping.
Yeah,
It's just got to be the play here.
it has to be. Oh, he's actually going to keep his guy alive with God's Willing here. Give it protection from white.
I believe he should give it protection from blue and make his thing fall off.
His creature has to die to get the card.
Oh, his creature has to die?
Yeah, it's not when Fate Foretold hits the bin. It's when the creature it's enchanting dies. Its controller draws the card. So he doesn't have any incentive to knock that thing off. All right, and here is the Triton Fortune Hunter that we talked about earlier. And finally, Shenhar draws a land off the top of his deck. Just a small reprieve here, and he just has to shift the turn back. Does he have a...
I'm sure he must have a Grip Tide or
yeah.
Divine Verdict, one or the other.
No problem, bro. I'm pretty awful.
But we know that there's a Dissolve waiting on the other end of whatever it is that Shenhar decides to play here. Shahar's going to do this before blocks. Grip Tide your guy. Dissolve, it's the last card in his hand. Resolves, get a scry. And he finds another great tempo play. These tempo plays are pretty good anyway, but when you're way, way ahead, they are so insane.
Oh, yeah.
Voyage's End. Again, we saw Sea God's Revenge be insane in this game because Shenhar was already behind a bit and then was missing land drops, and that's where Sea God's Revenge is just absurd. Another land is revealed, and not one drawn. Took 6, dropped you down to 2-ish.
And I believe that is all she wrote.
There's no sweepers in these colors, and Shahar's going to call it a game. Now, his misplay early, I mean, he was certainly bummed about it, but ultimately missing the land drops is what ended that game.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between him playing the Faberkin and not playing the Faberkin was Adam being at 14 at the end of the game or being at 10. Mm-hmm. And the game would have played out exactly the same otherwise. So
All right, let's take a quick look at Ori Swift versus William Lowry. Looks like a reasonable start here for Ori, and I don't know if Williams got a little mirror match here.
Looks like it.
What do you got? Blood Toll Harpy. Yeah, it'll trade off with the Marauder, with Mogus's Marauder, so at least it'll do that.
It may actually end up trading with the Scorpion, depending on what's in his hand.
Good point. All right, here's the Temple. Trigger a little scry action here, and push that one down at the bottom.
I might only try to think the second early match.
He's just going to stave off this beating a little bit, I imagine.
Yeah, so he just wants to, like you mentioned, just stem the bleeding and try to get to a later portion of the game. Well, interesting. Right after the green-blue Temple comes down the return Phalanx, so that'll actually be active if he wants it.
It's pretty relevant.
Yeah. Thing hits hard. Costs a lot of mana, but it hits hard. And that's going to be a Disciple of Phoenix for 2. So what's going to happen here is Ori's going to have to reveal 2 cards. I see that he's got a Forest and a Gray Merchant, and he's got something else, and he's going to have to reveal 2 of those, and one of those is going to get discarded, and William gets to be the one to choose which one.
I think he reveals Forest Gray Merchant.
Well, what's his other card?
His other card is Rescue from the Underworld, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree then. Oh, he's going to let him actually have the Rescue from the Underworld.
That seems odd, but
I guess it's the same. Right, I mean, now you just cast the guy and don't have to fuss around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it gets to block right away.
Yeah.
I mean, there's untold value, though. Like, you don't know if you draw a creature that come into playability, your opponent's not playing blue, you know.
It's true, and Ori's at 19. Anyway, all right, so, but he is actually just going to activate this thing and attack with both. And that's going to prompt a block from the Disciple on the Sedge Scorpion. And take 3, followed up with a Blood Toll Harpy. I like that play. I like where he ended up here quite a bit. This is also going to pump up his Gray Merchant by another Devotion. It's also an evasive 2-power threat that's going to keep the pressure on. Yeah, that was a really nice little sequence there for Ori.
Yeah, I think he's most likely just going to continue bashing in, though, and not spending the mana to cast the Gray Merchant until it's just about lethal here.
Okay. All right, back to our main match here. Adam Shaw on the left. He beat Shenhar Shenhar in the first game. Cavalry Pegasus here. The first one of those that we've seen on camera from Adam Shaw. The Hopeful Eidolon, not a human. It's a nymph. So that thing's not going to be getting flying anytime soon. Oh, it's a spirit? Oh, sorry, it's not a nymph, it's a spirit. But it's still not a human. Wingsteed Rider here for Shenhar Shenhar. Pretty decent start. This is a Jake Van Lunen start right here.
Oh, this is my bread and butter right here. I don't really care what my second or third or fourth color is, as long as I'm playing white and like 9 planes in my deck.
All right. All right, here's a nice aggressive attack here from Adam Shaw. 2 power.
I like this attack. I mean, it kind of telegraphs Dauntless Onslaught, though.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know if he has that, but...
But really, I mean, Shenhar does not have great blocks here either way. It's only 2 damage, although one of it does have lifelink, but... I feel like if you're in Shenhar's seat, it's just really hard to come up with a block here.
And I really like Adam's attack there, too, because then he has the Fortune Hunter, even if, you know, even if there are no blocks. So
yeah, that's very solid. All right, there's the Fortune Hunter. All right, so no mana problems this game for Shahar Shenhar. Ooh. Biden to Thassa hits the battlefield. We haven't seen that one yet, but it's a pretty sweet one. You can get a look at it on your screen there. Makes all your creatures into Ophidians, as we say. And wow, Shahar gets to draw 2 right away off of it. What do you think about that play, Jake?
On whose part?
Just the fact that it happened.
I mean, it's unbelievably powerful. Biden of Thassa is one of the better cards in the set for limited. It's a big rare. Definitely one of the cards that would make me want to play blue if I opened it in a sealed deck. Adam choosing not to block with the Fortune Hunter, I completely understand. I think he has an Ordeal of Thassa in his hand, and he has things that can target it in his deck. He has multiple things that can target it in his hand. I mean, one of his only ways to draw out of this is through
abusing the Fortune Hunter. Okay.
Like letting that Fortune Hunter kind of go crazy. So.
All right, so this is a critical turn here. Let's see what Adam Shaw comes up with. He does not hitting his land drop this turn currently. He passed the turn back. Oh, he did hit his land drop already. Okay, so he's passed the turn, and he's just going to go for the defensive trick here.
Seems to make sense.
Yeah, well, this is going to put a hurting on this. All right, another attack here with Wingsteed Rider, and another card off of Biden of Thassa. This is going to get out of hand
really
very
well.
quickly.
I mean, that's a perfect turn played by Shahar here. Yeah, he managed to correctly identify that his opponent had the Dauntless Onslaught in an earlier turn.
Yes.
And played around that card specifically and not any other card.
He did, because if you look at the board, Wingsteed Rider has a great attack against the Cavalry Pegasus on its own. He knew, though, that his opponent had something, and he played around it. I like that.
And he doesn't have to play around any of the blue cards because of the Gainsay in his hand.
Also, I mean, what a blowout. Like,
yeah.
He made it so that Adam Shaw did nothing for his whole turn. You know how sad you are if you're sitting in Adam Shaw's seat and Shahar does that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he could have played that ordeal last turn on his Fortune Hunter, drawn a card, got in for something, and he just decided to do nothing because he wanted to play the defensive trick, and that's risky business.
Surprised he played the ordeal on the Pegasus.
That is an interesting choice. The Eidolon seems like a fine choice. The Fortune Hunter gets you a card immediately.
I like the Fortune Hunter.
All right, and in they go. Biden of Thassa doing its activated ability. 1 in a blue, tap it. All creatures must attack this turn. So here they come. There's a trigger. Now, is this the point where Adam Shaw says, all right, well, apparently we're just in full race mode, and my opponent's tapped out. Did he just fire off that Dauntless Escort? Dauntless Escort, that's a different card. Dauntless Onslaught here, draw a card. No, he doesn't. He's just going to say, take it. So 13 for Shahar Shenhar, and Adam Shaw's got a little follow-up play with an Observant Alseid here. What was that off the top for Shahar?
I believe it was the... I don't think it was a Voyage's End. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. We'll wait and find out. Oh, I think it's Fate Foretold. Yeah, that's a Fate Foretold. All right, so...
Are you a big Fate Foretold fan?
I think it's okay.
I mean, if you have a lot of like Triton Fortune Hunters or Wavecrash Tritons, then it's pretty nice, but...
Yeah, fairly low-risk card to run. It's kind of one of those cards that just often cycles. Wow, 2 more cards. That's 5 drawn now from Biden of Thassa. Shahar has really abused that card.
And he's even made his opponent attack. It's just...
Yeah. Look at his grip. Did he actually miss this land still, though, somehow?
Yeah, he's missed it for a couple turns.
No, I mean, even after drawing those extra cards this turn, too?
Yep.
10 more. All right, the whip never failed me.
Wow.
Yeah, I only have like 1 answer.
Yeah, Biden of Thassa, I don't actually have it quite as high on the list as you do for cards that like I really want to see and open and do, but this is showing you what it's capable of right here.
I mean, it does
Unbelievable.
this all the time. Like, they both have the same amount of creatures in play. It's not like Shahar's like. Shenhar would not be winning if it weren't for that card.
Oh, you're completely right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 3 cards on the Disciple.
All right, so there's another trigger. And it looks like he's just going to attack with all of them anyway.
Yeah.
So is this the turn that he pulls the trigger on the Dauntless Onslaught, gets in with a bigger Hopeful Eidolon, gets a card off of Fortune Hunter? It's a pretty big blowout here, and Shenhar is tapped out.
Yeah, I mean, but the fact that Shenhar has drawn 5 extra cards, doesn't really matter how bad you blow him out. You can blow him out so bad.
Yeah, it's true.
And you're still going to lose.
He's attacking for 6 right now. Could make it 10, which is a huge chunk.
It is a huge chunk.
And this actually brings me to the reason why I said I'm not quite as high on Biden of Thassa as you are, is that if you're behind, it doesn't do anything.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's a drawback. That's a huge drawback.
That is, in
still
fact, a drawback.
well worth playing. Love the card. Would take it early. Try to build around it. I play it in any blue deck, but it's just not quite that huge bomby draw that I think. All right, so there it is. Dauntless Onslaught. Draw a card. Make my Eidolon bigger. Gain 3 life. You take 3 damage. Actually, I think you take 5, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage here.
He takes 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that a Battle-Wise Hoplite of his own here? Yeah, 1 in the bin for Shenhar and 1 on Adam Shaw's side. Is this a land? There it is. That's all really Shenhar needs to see at this point, or lands.
I mean, can Shenhar even...
No, I mean, he's at 6 here. Like, this is where the
pretty
Biden
interesting
starts to
right
get
now.
a little awkward, right?
Well, it's not that the Biden's awkward. It's that the... it's a huge part of this that he wasn't hitting the land.
Yeah.
This hadn't been a 3 drop.
But I mean, I'm saying that, like, the card that has put him so far ahead, it doesn't do anything now.
Of course you just drew lands. Just good deck. Dude, this deck is not the kind of deck.
I mean, it drew him 5 cards.
I said the
None of those
card
5
that
cards
put him
did anything.
ahead,
Yeah,
that was the drawing 5 cards part, is now just sort of sitting there.
that's true.
Now, I'm not saying it didn't pull its weight. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that there is another side of that coin. All right. Adam Shaw sitting at 15 life. Now remember, Shenhar, ranked number 3 in the world. He needs to win this match, and that means win this game. He's down a game in order just to make day 2 here at this GP. Adam Shaw, former level 3 judge, same thing. He needs to win this match to get to day 2. All right, there's a Laganaban Elder. That's going to gain him 3 life, though.
It is. It's going to put him up to 9.
All right. There's also a Vaporkin in hand. Let's see if Shenhar decides he wants to play it or not.
This Ordeal of Thassa is going to draw some extra cards for Adam
This has been
here.
a sweet game.
This has been a really, really sweet game. Ordeal of Thassa has been really good here, even just not played on the Fortune Hunter.
All right, so Shenhar just passed the turn. He did not play the Vaporkin, so he must have something else. This is where, you know, something like a Sea God's Revenge would be insane, but Shenhar's well past being able to play around anything like that. So is he just attacking with the Cavalry Pegasus? Ooh. That should not be on 3. That should be on 2. Thanks, Shenhar. Now, I got to ask you, Jake Van Lunen, if you're in Shenhar's seat, do you say, no, you've already attacked, you put a dice on this thing, the triggers happen? Huh? Oh, Shahar backed him up himself? Oh, okay.
Shenhar said beginning of combat, probably.
Okay. I see, because he wanted to have the chance to activate his Biden. Fair enough. All right, so there it is. 2 guys attack. And the Ordeal of Thassa gets sacrificed, and he should draw a couple cards here.
Yep.
That is a Dissolve, and that is a Voyage's End. Nice draws here for Adam Shah. He's trying to get through a Biden of Thassa that has drawn Shenhar 5 extra cards this game.
Wow.
And he is on the verge here. All right, bounce it. Scry one. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's got the protection from, he's got God's Willing.
Oh, God's Willing would be really nice here.
There it is. God's Willing. Naming blue, though, and there's the Dissolve to counter it. So no Scry for Shenhar, no God's Willing for Shenhar. Scry here for Adam. He sees an island. He's going to push it to the bottom. Now the Hoplite.
He got to Scry both to the bottom because of the
Voyage's End. Oh,
resolved
man.
right, yeah.
This is getting ugly here.
So much value.
So Shenhar drops down to 3. He's got a ton of cards in hand, though. All of that advantage gained from the Biden still counts right now if he can deploy enough answers to stay alive. Adam Shah trying as hard as he can to race an opponent who has 8 cards in hand and has really had 7 the whole game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Adam winning this game is pretty unbelievable if it happens.
If it were to happen. It still seems, I mean, even though he's way ahead on the damage race, it still seems like a tall order here. Did Adam chump block there?
He did. I don't love that chump block.
Do you know why he did, or?
I mean, he might think that Shenhar needs to draw another flyer, or he just loses.
Okay. He also might think that Shenhar could play a creature and then activate his Biden, and that thing's just going to get eaten anyway. So he might as well get something out of it.
That's completely reasonable, also.
Yeah. All right. What was that?
Is that what I think it is?
Was that Sea God's Revenge?
Oh my goodness.
No, it must not have
gracious.
been. He would have definitely cast it. It could have been Thassa's Bounty. All right.
It's definitely a possibility.
All right, so give this human flying. There's a Grip Tide in hand.
Oh, wow. That's actually quite good.
Now, is he going to use it?
No, I don't think so.
He's going to wait for the double block, and then he's going to use it.
Yeah.
So a Vaporkin can jump in front of the... Well, he's actually got quite a few options here, but it can jump in front of the Battle-Wise Hoplite, and he can say sure, or if he has something to target it, he can do that. And then on the other side of the coin, 2 things are going to need to jump in front of Cavalry Pegasus, and he can Grip Tide one of them. Jeez.
This is pretty unbelievable.
There's the stoic face of Shenhar, though. He's deep in the tank. I mean, he's certainly trying as hard as he can to figure out all the options, but he always looks pretty chill.
This is pretty much the best game we've watched all day.
This is a sweet game,
nice.
And
this
it has the most on the line as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily the last game, but...
No. All right, so...
Oh, and here it is.
2 Vaporkins jump in front of the Cavalry Pegasus. Now, remember, Shahar's tapped out, so here's Grip Tide on Vaporkin. Shenhar probably did that in case that happens, because Vaporkin's easier to cast next turn. All right, he says, hold on a second. Is that Stymied Hopes in his hand?
I believe it is a Stymied Hopes, which is actually quite good here.
It really is, because of the fact that Shenhar somehow has not been able to hit enough land drops, even though he's drawn 1 million cards. He's really ran quite bad with that. It is Stymied Hopes, and he's even can leave it up. So he's going to get something with it, because Shenhar obviously cannot play around something like that at this point. Shenhar draws the Vaporkin for the turn. Attacks with his Leonin Snarecaster. No blocks from Adam Shah. Draw a card. It's a phalanx leader. Another missed land drop here. Play Vaporkin, resolves. Now, if this is going to be a 3-drop, Adam Shaw could, and it's not. All right, so Shenhar again wiggles free. Play a land. Go to attacks. Attack for lethal damage. Chump block with Vaporkin. Before damage, tap 3 mana. No, stymied hopes immediately. And he gets to scry one here too. Scry. Leave that on top. I didn't see what it was, but it's something. It's a spell for sure. So that's all it really needs to be at this point. Any creature, anything is good here. Adam Shaw, 5 mana.
Another
Setessan
3-power
Griffin,
flyer.
Another 3-power flyer.
Shenhar
Another
3.
lethal flyer. And Shenhar looks like he is way up against it here. He did find a land here.
Let's see. Is he going to?
Plays his land. Now Adam Shaw's at 12, so Shenhar's way off of being able to attack for lethal or anything along those lines.
And it's looking like despite drawing,
is Adam Shaw going to pull this off?
7 extra cards. Adam Shaw is going to get this.
Is he going to pull this off? Shenhar is deep in the tank. He needs to find
Shenhar, the number 3 ranked player in the world, drew 7 extra cards this game. Is
right.
likely finding himself.
All right, here's a block. Triton Fortune Hunter is going to get in the way of the Lagana Brand Elder. I think that the key here is that
That's it.
Adam Shaw knows that he just wants to brick him on any draws, and that's it. Adam Shaw beats him to improve to day 2. Huge sigh of relief there for Adam. Look at him. He can barely contain his smile as he beats one of the best Magic players in the world to advance to day 2 and somehow fades 7 extra draw steps.